So I just got out of the shower and I was gonna do some skincare, but while I was in the shower, I had a small kind of epiphany moment where I felt like, because it's the holiday times and I'm making a video about the holiday times, I want to talk about the loneliness that kind of surrounds this time of year, especially living abroad, because I have kind of felt it this year, I'm not gonna lie. After 3 years of living here, I've kind of built up a strength of living abroad and finding my own circle of friends and things that I love. But sometimes I look back and there's things that I miss. So we're gonna do some skincare. Today I got some lovely PR from Claire. Where is that symbol? Claire. Anyway, Claire's. They sent me a box of things and I'm gonna try them today. I have the toner. I have a toner from Claire's, and then I have a moisturizer from Claire's. So thank you, Claire's, for sending me these pieces of skincare. Thank you. So I want to talk about loneliness and my experience with loneliness living abroad in Korea for 3 years now. I get a lot of messages asking how I managed to live abroad, how I make a circle of friends, how I deal with the loneliness of being away from my family, and I can't answer it all in one comment, so I kind of just want to make a general video talking about how I just feel about living abroad and the loneliness that comes with it, because everyone's gonna feel a little bit lonely here and there. Where did I put my toner pads? Here, there. Okay, so you might be wondering why I'm not sitting in my chair. I'm sitting on the floor because the floor is warm and it's cold outside. It's in the negative degrees, so I'm just gonna sit on the floor if you don't mind. Let's start with some toner. I'm gonna go in with the Claire toner because I need some toner because I just shaved and I want to even out my skin because it feels super dry. So I personally don't feel super missing my family vibes. I love my family so much, but I think if anything, my relationship with my family has only gotten better since leaving. I grew up in a household where I didn't really talk about my emotions too much, and if my parents are watching this, by that I don't really mean too much harm by that. It's just I didn't feel like I was super duper close with my parents in the way that I've seen a lot of people online or my friends being close with their parents. And that's not a bad thing. Everyone has different relationships with their family, but it just led me to the point where I feel like I don't need my parents as a support system in the way that other people may. And so I get the question a lot of, do you miss your family? Do you miss your parents? And of course I miss my parents. Of course I miss my family, but I can call them. I can give them a phone call. The hard part is that it's a different time zone, right? That is the part that makes it difficult, that sometimes when it's 2 p.m. and I want to call my mom or my dad, it can be quite hard to realize that I don't live in America. I can't just pick up the phone and call them whenever I want. I kind of have to schedule a meeting or a phone call, something like that. And if something were to happen, I would be thousands of miles away with having to get an airplane ticket, and that is not an easy thing. I was watching, what's that guy's name? The guy that lives in Japan, his grandma recently passed away, and he was in America traveling at the time, and I thought that, I mean, he was very lucky. I think he even said that he was very lucky that it didn't happen at a time where he was living in Japan. And I completely related to that because I was thinking, like, if anything were to happen to any of my family members, what would I do? Like, would I just stay here in Korea? It's so much easier said than done. Just like, of course you would go home. It's so much easier to just say that, but I have a dog here. I have a completely different life here than what I had 3 years ago. I can't just up and leave that to go and tend to an emergency as easily as I could have in the past. Of course, I would want to. I don't want to make it seem like, why would I go back to... I'm not saying like that. I'm just saying that it would be much more difficult, and that is something that I struggle with a lot. Although I'm not super close to my family, of course I do care about them, and that is something that I worry about a lot. I feel like a lot of the times influencers or people that make content online show the glitz and glamour, but don't talk about this part of missing your family or missing your friends. All of my friends from high school and university, I don't really talk to anymore just because I have a life here now, and it's hard to continue conversations with people that are in a 14-hour time zone difference. It's not an easy feat. My skin already, I feel like, looks nicer. But I'm not gonna go crazy. Toners, whatever. Serum, I'm gonna go with serum. I love this CosRX mucin serum. I've talked about it already like a billion times. But friends, making friends in Korea is not hard. A lot of the times it's just centered around language learning, and those relationships can be very nice, but I feel like they're very fleeting. I think I have a handful of Korean friends that I feel like I could call today and ask them for a favor or invite them to a party and that they would actually come. But when I first came to Korea, I was surrounded by people all the time because they wanted to show me Korea, they wanted to introduce me to things. But I feel like the more that I've gotten used to life in Korea, the more that I can speak Korean, I feel like the less that certain friends want to talk to me, but that's neither here nor there. Friendships are hard anywhere you go. Making friends in this day and age is very difficult at times, but I am a very introverted person. I don't think it's the best to come to me when it comes to like any relationship advice when it comes to friendships, because I would be happy to live in my home and to see my dog and to go to work and to go out walking. I don't need to go out to the bar or club or something like that to find any sort of enjoyment or relaxation. I know a lot of people do. I'm not bagging on it by any means. It's just not something that I need at all, and I would not be the person to ask, because there's a lot of people that love to come to Korea to come in club and to make friends and do all of those really fun things. That was not my thing. I came here for completely different reasons, and I don't feel lonely necessarily. I have beautiful relationships here in Korea. I have work, I have things to keep me busy. I have now the online entertainment things that I'm doing, which have been so fun, like talking to you guys like this. It may seem like a little bit loser lonely to be talking to a camera, but on Christmas no less. But I'm an introverted person. I can play my games, I can read my books, I can watch my movies, and I can see my friends maybe once a month, and I'll be happy with that. That maybe sounds a little bit lame, but I'm happy with my life, and that's what matters, right? So the thing that I miss the most is my siblings. I love my siblings, and my sister had a baby. I have a nephew, and I would love to meet my nephew. That is a guilt that I don't think that she would want me to feel, but it is a guilt that I would love to be able to support my nephew and be there for him and be there for my sister. That is something that I feel quite lonely about, is that I'm not able to see my siblings. And even though I could call them, they have their own lives, they're teachers, they're working very professional jobs, and I don't want to, I don't know, I just feel like it's very difficult to be in a time zone difference like this big. Maybe Europe may be a little bit easier, but 14 hours, man, my parents are going to sleep by the time I'm starting my day. So there we go, everything is on. My face is all moisturized and done. I do have this big my god, this big pimple there in that crease, and I don't know what to do about it. You can't really see it super much. I'm gonna go to dinner soon, so I'm just gonna leave it alone and not touch it and hope that no one talks about it. But yeah, so loneliness is it's rough. It can be very difficult. I have been so lucky that my personality works really well with living abroad, but there are times, man, there are times where I wish that I could give my parents a hug, and I can't imagine for people that really depend on those social systems to get them through the day. That can be very difficult, and I've met a lot of people that deal with those issues, and I really recommend people that are watching this video. I'm putting some of this face cream on my hands because they're so dry. I come from Texas. I cannot deal with this negative degree weather. South Texas, by the way. South, very, very south. I can't imagine people that go through extreme depression or extreme loneliness living abroad. It must be so difficult, and maybe I'll get there at some point, but at the moment I feel very grateful for the life that I've built here. But there are moments, and I just gotta power through, and I have to know that this is the best for me. This is my life, this is what I picked, this is what I love. And even though I would love to see my loved ones, I would love to be able to see people from my past. My future is here, my life is here, I love my life here, and hopefully I can eventually bring my family here. But until then, I don't think that I see myself going back to America, like even for visiting anywhere in the near future. There's just nothing there for me personally. I'm very happy here. Anyway, so I'm gonna stop ranting. I'm just gonna say goodbye now. Thank you for watching. If you have any tips on loneliness, or if you have any personal ideas of how you would handle situations like this, let me know in the comments. If there's any discussions you want to talk about, you can have them down in the comments, and I hope that you will be here for the next video, and thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.